Right back on the canoe again. So today, I didn't quite like the profile. I've been working on the profile. So I kind of went from nothing, from where the surface I had before. And at this point here, I dropped it about 3/8 of an inch. So we're just kind of gradually going from nothing to the 3/8. And then I tried to get kind of a steeper approach. So I'm kind of tearing all this out, just to give that the canoe on the ends more of a rounded, and then through the body of the canoe, kind of flatten it out slightly, but not completely flat. Now this is the front of the canoe. So ideally I kind of want this to be a little bit less aggressive of an angle as the back. As you can see, I've already come in here and started chiseling this out. That's about as far as I got. And what I did is the same thing. Drew my lines using a piece of welding wire. Made a series of cuts. And now I'm just chiseling this out. Once I get it chiseled to about this level, I'll come back through maybe and chisel it finer. At some point, I'm going to sand it with real coarse sandpaper, and probably on my sander. I'm not going to sit here and do that by hand. And then once I get kind of a smooth surface, and then I'll go over setting the profile that I'm going to use for the sides. Now, traditionally, they carved the canoe and then widened them. I'm not going to go through the widening of this canoe, so I'm carving it to look as though it would be, when the canoe is complete. If you were going to widen it, you would carve it a little bit different, and lay your layout lines a little bit different, but anyway, that's kind of it. We're just rolling with it here. Got my little helper. Are you helping, Wombly? Yeah, maybe not. Alright, so I got half the canoe roughly chiseled out. I'm going to try to show you the profile. So this is the front of the canoe. And it's hard to see, but I think I'm pretty happy with kind of this profile. Comes down. And kind of right in here is where I've kind of left off. So you can kind of see from this peak, kind of that red line. That's what I've got to take off, and that'll be the front of the canoe, or the back of the canoe. So take it off down into here, kind of down into nothing about here. So I'll get that chiseled out. Once I get that chiseled out, yeah, you can see that half is a lot cleaner than up here. Still got some to take out. Then we'll get it smoothed up, and I'll kind of show you once I get this top profile. Once I get it smooth enough, I'll redraw this center line clear through. And kind of get my side profiles drawn. And just trying to see if it looks fairly level. Hard to tell, it's a choppy mess right now. But taking a quick break, making another pot of coffee. These are French press. I got half a turkey sitting here, sitting out ready for waiting to put in the oven for dinner. This is one of the turkeys. This is a small one. We grow our own turkeys, and one is a little bit way too much for us. So we typically cut them in half, bake half at a time. So that's dinner waiting, along with some stuffing. So, well, I'll get this pot of coffee made and we'll get back at the canoe. Show me your canoe building skills, boy. The boy doesn't have pants on, so I'm blocking out his little behind. He found himself a kitchen knife and a log. So he's watching me over there, and then he comes over here for a bit, and little Wombly here is pounding away. We'll check back on his canoe. Wombly, you want to say hi? Alright, you just keep chopping away. Just don't hit your hand. So, this boy pretty much tries to repeat everything he sees Daddy do. I hope I didn't do that though. Maybe that's how I do carve. Alright. Alright guys, so I sanded the top. It's not perfect. I just needed a smooth surface to draw the top profile. So I used 80 grit just on my grinding wheel, actually, to somewhat. I'll try to, let me see if I can't get the finished profile. And it is the profile. And it's due to change, but I think I like it. Next thing I did is I redrew my center line clear through all the way to the other side. I know the lines are real light. And these are just random marker points that I drew in 6.5 inches from each end. So I drew that one across, drew that one across, and of course this is the center. This is the center of the canoe. And then using this welding rod, I held it up, kind of bent it to meet this point, to meet just a designated point that I drew. I measured from this line, the center line of the canoe, out to this point, and the same distance on the other side, and then to the center line, which I took to nothing, and then the other line down there I used the same point marks. So as you can see, very lightly, I've got a rough profile for the sides of the canoe. So my next step will be cutting that out, and seeing what the profile looks like. I can always sharpen the angles a bit if it needs it, and when I cut those, to make drawing on the side easier, the profile that I want on the side, I'm gonna level this point here, try to keep the canoe as level as possible, upright as much as possible. And then cut down, keeping the blade as straight as I possibly can. And I am still thinking about how it is that I want to cut that side profile. I could use a chainsaw, but it's not really enough wood to bite on a chainsaw. Yeah, I'm afraid of making a mess out of it, so I have to think about that. So when I decide what I'm gonna do, I'll let you know. Alright guys, not sure this is gonna work. Gonna try it with a Sawzall. But I've got to get fairly straight up and down. I'm just gonna do more of the same, so I won't record it all. I'll just show you when I'm done. All right, guys, even with the Sawzall, that's a lot of work. I'll show you the side that I've got cut. I've got one more to do. But I was able to follow these lines quite nice. And so far, that's the front profile. Kind of hard to see. So from the middle point, this point, I think that is done. And I'm gonna flip it around and cut that end out, and then I'll show you the end result of the side profile. All right, guys, I just sort of roughly drew, this is the front of the canoe. This is just roughly drawn. I think I'm too wide here, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out because I feel pretty safe that I'm not taking too much material. I might thin this section up here. I might thin it, but for now, first cut, that's what I'm gonna do for the front. And then the back, that's sort of my rough back and how it's gonna look. And there again, I might thin it up, but that's what we're gonna do for now. Cut it, and then that way I can look at it for a while and see if I like it. So we'll go from there. All right, guys, I'm just finishing up on the canoe for today, and actually probably for about a week. Today I got my motor from the machine shop for that 22R, the Toyota project I've been working on. So it's gonna be back to engine time. So I'm gonna show you as far as I got. I got the rough profile. I kind of got it drawn there in red, just roughly what the front nose will end up looking like. This will be that border line that stays, and this is just kind of all rough. This is the front of the canoe, and eventually this is going to be rounded, and I actually think that this is too wide, but I went ahead and cut it out. As you can see, I have other lines I'm working with, so I can always take more out and then, you know, round my corner here. But that's it. That's the front of the canoe. This is just going down. And then I got the back, the tail section cut. And that's it. Really kind of hard to film in here. So, back end. Clear the front end. So, that's it, and that's where it's gonna sit for a bit. All right, thanks for watching.